Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We're here at the Andaz Liverpool Street game on press conference. Chris Billam-Smith defends his world title against Richard Riakporhe, 15th of June at Selhurst Park. Ben Shalom, how are you, mate?
Very well, very well. How are you?
Very well. Enjoy your little trip to New York last week?
Yeah. Obviously there for work, but always like New York. It was good to go there. Obviously, CNBC. We deliver all our shows to Peacock out there, so good to see them, good to catch up with them. They're very interested in obviously Ben, who's just performing incredibly out there, so good to get everyone in a room and see what the future looks like.
Yeah, let's talk about the main event then. It feels like it's been spoken about since the Masternak fight last year. It's taken a little bit longer to get over the line than you thought it would?
It did. I think we were trying to find the right venue for a long time. You know, Chris has been in Bournemouth the past 4 occasions. We spoke to Bournemouth, they couldn't do it, no matter how hard we tried the past few months. And then you're thinking, right, for me, in the summer in London, when it's hot before the Euros, do we want to go to Wembley Arena? Do we want to go to the O2? No. So we had to find somewhere. But Selhurst Park and Steve Parish, we've been talking for a long time about Richard Riakporhe. This was a dream they wanted to realise. And we had to get Chris to agree to it as a champion. And that's what champions do. And fair play to him. He's coming to South London, not too far, a couple of hours from Bournemouth. Still expect a huge travelling support, but we get the fight on in the British summertime, in London, in South London, with a huge undercard as well. Really, really excited. I think it's the right place for the fight. And so to have 2 guys realise their ambition, which is, obviously everyone wants to fight for a world title, but to be able to fight for a world title in your hometown is pretty special. Obviously Chris knows that last year. For Richard to do it, it's incredible. We're proud to do that for them. Everything's set up for them. You can't ask for anything more really as a fighter, and now they've got to go out there and perform. But yeah, thank you to Steve and Crystal Palace, because it will be a special night.
Looking at the billboard behind us, I see tickets from £30, so affordable pricing. Does that mean we're going to get a packed out Selhurst Park on the 15th of June?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of talk about the stadium, but I do genuinely believe when you go to a stadium, it becomes much more attractive to fans. And we saw that with Bournemouth last year, and we saw that with the pre-sale yesterday. General sale tomorrow, but it's selling unbelievably well. Like, obviously we just had Wardley Clarke, which was incredible, but we're way ahead of that. And so I think a domestic world title clash like that with a hometown club, you've got 2 hometown boys coming together with Bournemouth and Crystal Palace. It's going to be a special event, and I really expect something pretty magical on June the 15th. I think, as I say, the undercard as well, there's still 2 big fights to be announced on it, and I think it'll be the show of the summer. I really do in British boxing. It's been a year where we've just tried to deliver the biggest British fights we could. Obviously Mayor Jonas, not British, but was an incredible night in Liverpool. Then we went to Buatsi Aziz, which was another unbelievable night. Great fight. Wardley Clarke was phenomenal. Probably one of the fights of the decade, one of the best nights that I've experienced. Lauren Price gets her homecoming, which is going to be a special night in Cardiff and a great night for her. Lawrence Okoli obviously gets a world title, which was big for us because he wasn't mandatory, and he felt like he was he needed to move up. So to deliver for him after a few disappointing performances and his change with Joe Gallagher, hopefully we're going to see a really revived Lawrence Okoli. But then to deliver this one at the end of it all, it's been an incredible run. You know, we have to try and work within our budget at all times and put on the biggest fights that we possibly can. So to deliver British fights in big arenas, in a stadium now, like this, not on pay-per-view, is really special and something I'm really proud of, and hopefully we can continue to do it.
Let's talk about Mikhail Shislak versus Isaac Chamberlain. Was Isaac ever going to fight Vidal Riley?
Yes. And in the end, and to be honest, as a promoter, that was the fight that we wanted. But fair play to Isaac, because he's his own man and he's got his own promoter. Shislak is a very, very tough fight. So to go and say, no, I want to win the European title, I've got world title ambitions, that's what I want to go to next. You have to commend it. It's a really tough fight. I think it'll be one of the fights of the night, if not steal the show. Isaac's going to have to be at his very best. He fights in front of a home crowd as well. And he deserves it after a very difficult, unlucky career at times, with the Chris Billam-Smith fight on late notice, that Lawrence Okoli fight early on in his career. So, yeah, delighted for him, but ultimately, I have stressed it before, that was his decision. And I think he's chosen a tough fight.
Isaac did say up there that it wasn't your decision to move away from the purse bids. Do you feel like there is a stigma attached to you when it does come to purse bids?
Of course there is, and whether that's fair or unfair, it is what it is. I think.
Is it fair?
I think there was a lot made of that Fraser Clarke Wardley one. It just blew up, didn't it? But for me, we saw why it was the right decision, and sometimes I've had to take a step back and take a lot of criticism, but it's always been in the fighter's interest. People talk about his platforms and this and that, but no, I think we saw where it was the right decision for Fraser Clarke. I couldn't have talked about it so much more than I have. For Richard Riakporhe now to deliver this is what dreams are made of. My number one job as a promoter is to really do everything I can to deliver for my fighters on the biggest possible stages, and I believe I've done that, and that's what allows me to sleep at night, look in the mirror, and that's what I want to be judged on. And this is another special occasion.
Where does Vidal Riley go next then?
I'm not sure. I think after the Mikhail Lawal fight, he did pick something up on the ribs. Yeah. I think he got caught in the first round and actually had to box his way through the whole time, which was impressive given he has got quite a serious injury there. We'll see when he comes back. I don't think it'll be more than 6 to 8 weeks. And then obviously that division has loads of big fights for him, but he'll have a keen eye on what happens on June the 15th.
I don't want to dwell on this too much, but obviously you done the interviews last week, kind of hitting back at Frank Smith's comments. Then Frank Smith come back at you saying, how is it unprofessional if he doesn't like someone because of how they work? Are you running the risk of getting into one of these back and forths now?
I mean, it comes with the territory. I was more commenting on the volume. It comes with the territory. I think it's all a bit of fun and games and pantomime at times, and ultimately, it's interesting to see the volume. But I think he backtracked last week and seemed to be in a different headspace. And look, I've got nothing against anyone. I don't know Frank Smith, so it's hard for me to comment. Like, it's hard. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue who his personality is. I don't know him. I don't know his personal life. I don't know. So that's why I said it was bizarre.
I don't know if there was a kind of a crossover when you was in New York and when Matchroom were in town. Did you have any interaction whatsoever?
No.
Is there going to be a rematch between Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clarke?
I believe it's the biggest fight for both of them, but the punishment they took in the last fight takes a lot out of you. So I think they need a bit of time, but I believe it's the biggest fight. I actually think it's the fight that they both want as well. From having a few conversations with both camps, I think it will happen.
Does it happen this year?
Yes, I believe so.
Have you seen the news today that Matchroom and Chantel Cameron have kind of mutually agreed to part ways? Chantel Cameron, a very big name in female boxing. Is that a name that you might potentially look to work with in the future?
Obviously, it's new news. She's a fantastic fighter, fantastic personality, fantastic role model. We have a lot of female boxers: Savannah Marshall, Natasha Jonas, Lauren Price, Caroline Dubois, Carrie Sartingstall, Fran Hennessy. A lot to deliver for, a lot of big names. But we'll see. But I've already seen the news now, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that are interested in Chantal.
Last one. I know when this card was originally rumoured, Yarde was kind of rumoured with it. I know Frank Warren said a lot on the Anthony Yarde situation. From your point of view, Ben, what did happen with that fight, and more kind of towards Anthony's side of it?
Yeah, I'm gutted it's not done yet. fights.
Yeah, is that still going?
Look, it's such a big fight. You as a promoter, you believe that it's the right fight. I think all fans believe it's the right fight for both of them. And so, you know, that's why I'm gutted it's not over the line. We've been consistently getting these British fights over the line. And that's another one that I wish had got over the line. It's frustrating. I think everyone knows it's not our side. And look, let's see what happens.
Ben Shalom, thank you very much for being to IFLTV.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.